I miss camaraderie, having a better bod. Um, and I do miss some of the fun stuff that we used to do, shooting, blowing stuff up. But yeah,
Man, I definitely miss the brotherhood because there was a lot of guys that we connected with, and it just seems like it was an instant relatability to the point where we felt like we've known each other all our lives. So yeah, definitely miss that.
I learned that my body can be pushed far greater than we think it can. Um, I learned that you got to trust the Lord with everything. He helps us through all of those hard times that we don't think we can get through. And when we do get through them, we still come out broken. But with him, it doesn't get broken.
Man, I really learned that God had his hand on me before I had an idea of who he was. And just with that alone, I saw a lot of, looking back now, like moments where God kept me from doing extremely different, crazy things. Well, I ain't gonna say kept me from it. How can I rephrase that? He protected me from getting into the trouble that I should have gotten in. Jesus. Yeah. So it was a lot that I really saw, even like within myself, a lot of immaturity that I didn't understand what my mom and even like some of the, I would say the neighborhood adults would try to talk to me about, as far as like being more mature, being more responsible. That was something that I didn't care too much about, but the military really helped me to see that these things are important. And if you learn them now, it would definitely carry you on throughout your life.
Yes. So I had a buddy come and visit, and we went to a party, and it was around 4th of July, so we partied hard. Well, a really bad situation happened. I got wrapped up into some stuff, and I got accused for something that I wasn't really guilty of, but the accusation was still there. I got into a lot of trouble for that accusation, so they had to put me like on a form of restriction. And in that place, I was really downcast, and I just kind of felt something prod me like, hey, you need to go to church. And a buddy of mine, his Lance Corporal was on duty one night, and she goes to church. So he was like, hey, ask Smith. She goes to church. So I was like, noted. So I asked her, and she lit up like a light. She said, yes, Corporal, you just show up here Sunday morning, ready to go. And I said, okay, awesome, cool. Love your enthusiasm, kid. So I went to church. I got saved, got baptized in Okinawa, Japan. And that's where my foundation started with the Lord. And it was a great foundation, a great place.
Man, with that, I honestly was, just to be completely transparent, I entered into a duty station that had a lot of severe racism. So the leadership were very strict, very harsh, very critical on me, to the point where I was ready to get out within first month, just ready to go ahead, run away. I don't care about being discharged dishonorably, because I personally didn't expect to enter into something like that. Even growing up in Mississippi, like I haven't experienced anything that severe, and I basically just ran through a lot of underage drinking, and that was my way of coping with things. So I drunk myself to sleep, woke up trying to drink, and it got to the point where I was being harassed also by military police. So with all of those things just compounding on top of each other, it really just pushed me into this dark corner where I really didn't care at all. It's like, kick me out, I really don't care. And I remember actually being called into the Sergeant Major's office and having him talk with me, saying, basically, you're going to get, they call it extra duty, which is basically, in a way to make it make more sense, you work and they take away your payment for working extra, and they take your rank too. So you lose everything, but you're still giving them the work that they want to do, and it's odd jobs, stuff that nobody really wants to do or care to do. So I think it was there where I had a commander of my company come in and just talk to me like heart to heart, like, don't be discouraged. Don't really think that this is the real military. This is a pit stop to where you will actually go and continue your career. And I didn't care to hear it, but for some reason, I guess that seed was sown, and that apparently was enough then to keep me going through the process of the extra duty. So I guess in the midst of that process too, I ran into a chaplain assistant that came on the tail end of me getting ready to get off of the extra duty, and he basically just pulled me to the side. One day I was getting ready to go meet with some friends and drink, because it was, yeah. And he just asked me out the blue, do you know the Holy Spirit? And it's like, it's random, it's odd, like what you mean? So he must be that thing that makes people run around like they crazy and all of that, because I didn't grow up in church, but when I did go, it was a lot of craziness and hypocrisy. So I told him that, and he explained to me, no, the Holy Spirit is a person that you can talk to, and you can really get to know, and he helps you understand the Bible and teach you more about Jesus. And I remember, like, he didn't say anything extra or try to force me to give my life there. He just dropped that nugget and just blessed me, like, well, it's something to think about, and walked away. And I remember thinking to myself, God, is real? You know, because I'm very curious. I still went with my friends and whatnot, but that night I came home and I asked God, if what he said is real, I would like for you to show me. And long story short, I ended up running into the guy, chaplain assistant again. He invited me to Thanksgiving with him and his mom, and I actually had a chance to talk with them. They explained more, and I actually gave my life to Christ at their house that night.
Trust the Lord with everything. It doesn't matter where you go, no matter what you do, you trust Him and walk in His ways, and you can't go wrong.
Man, coming outside the military, I would say one of the biggest things would definitely be have focus, have some type of, man, yeah. It's good to have a focus of where you want to go, and even how you want to get there as well. Because I realized, I guess, coming out of, well, before going in, I didn't have any vision, any focus, any concern about where I was going to go. But coming out, especially with God, like, that was a key aspect that sort of changed everything. Like, He helped me to gain insight to, like, I really need to be focused on where I'm going, even how I'm going to get there with Him, more than me just trying to plan my own life apart from Him. Because I think that's something that, yeah, I would say just most people just don't really try to think much about, as far as like how can we really plan and how can we, thank you, how can we submit ourselves to God's plan and allow their focus to drive us in that direction without us trying to take control of the wheel. Yeah.